Ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Ruff, and I'm in the beautiful city of Toronto, Canada. And guess what? Inflation is ripping through the economy. It is going higher and higher. Cost of everything is going up. Rents are going up, and housing prices are coming down. What should you do? Because this train is coming for you, like it or not. Let's get into it. Let's jump right away into our story and look at some of this stuff that is happening. It's actually quite shocking. Look at this subject that is right here. Now, let me get my glasses as I'm getting very old. Am I the only one? I'm on these new medications that make my eyes go all funky. So now I have to wear glasses. Um, Rents in cities near Toronto are soaring. Look at this. Some seeing hikes as high as 54%. Now, again, this is a little bit misleading. This is happening over the course of a couple of years from pre COVID to after COVID, up 54%, 44%, 42 per year. It is much smaller, but remember that it follows inflation, and not just the reported inflation. Forget that, the actual printing of money. A more reliable way for you to do it is to go to a website like shadowstats.com and look at the inflation numbers there, how they measured it in the 80s. You could also look at just the chart of the money supply, how much money the Canadians have, or the US or whatever government has printed. If they printed 20% more money over the past year, you would expect home prices to go up 20%. And so since the pandemic, we have printed, most of the developed world has printed about 40% more money. So we would expect the cost of food, gas, homes, everything to go up 40% as well. So just look at the percentage that the real estate market has gone up. Because if you want to see something really cool, just look at the number of dollars printed by the US government versus how high the stock market went. For every dollar that the government printed, 94 cents of it showed up in the stock market, almost a one-to-one correlation. So understanding the difference of the stock market going up will explain to you the print, or look at how much money they've created. That's a more reliable way of looking at it. But I can tell you right now, don't look at the CPI, or CPI, like a lot of people like to say, is not correct. We're not hitting like 9% inflation. Everybody that goes to a store can see the costs going way, way above that. But rents right now are hitting around 20, 25%, depending on where you are. So as we can see in this story here, rents are going up at this shocking rate, right? Look at this, 54%, unbelievable. But that's just since COVID, but it doesn't matter if it's 2 years. That is still totally unacceptable. But now look at this one. Ontario should limit rent hikes between tenants. What? What? Okay, guys, this is just not even right. We have to talk about this. Limiting rate hikes between tenants. I don't even understand how they can come after landlords so badly. So come check out this story later on if you would like. I think going after landlords is a very, very dangerous thing, because remember that rate hikes are very bad on the population, but coming back with regulations on landlords is even more harmful. So what we need to do is kind of government get out of the way and let the market settle itself. As you do that, you are not letting the landlords make the adjustments to their rents so that they can make a profitable investment. Now, a lot of people have said in my comments saying that that is all capitalist, or that doesn't care about the renters. I care about the renters. And there's been so many studies that is out there that shows the more rent control there is in a city, the higher the rent goes. Just think about it from the other side. Remember, if we don't have all the laws against the landlords, they can't raise rents even between tenants. They can't raise it per year. Why would they invest there? So then we have no units for people to rent, and the demand for the few that are left is crazy. And that's exactly what we're seeing here in Toronto. So if we look at this right here, this is the actual rates. Let's add this. These are the actual rates that you are going to be able to raise the rent in each subsequent year. So if we go back, we can see that some years they were allowing a 2% raise in rent, 3%, 2%, 1%, all over the place, but it's normally 1, 2, or 3%. And we can go through the years from 2000 all the way up to now. 2021, they wouldn't allow rents to go up at all, 1.2. But remember, every single year here, new renters were paying 10% more. every year. And when an old tenant leaves and moves back in, that's what they mean why they change it. So if somebody lived in a unit for 10 years, let's say, they may pay $2,000, then $2,040, $2,080. But if they moved out because they were there for so long and rent protected, the new tenant moving in might have to pay $3,000. So that's how the landlord rebalances himself. But look at the incentive for the renter who's living there. They never want to leave because it's more expensive to go out, and we need people to turn over. So this disincentivizes people from moving. This creates the problem. It makes it worse and worse. So as we look through the chart, we can see it's always a 1 or 2%, something like that, whereas the market is actually going up 20 or 25%. Interestingly, if you go to rentals.ca, we can see on this webpage the difference in year-over-year rent between 1 and 2 bed. And the 1 beds in Vancouver, $2,412. It's up 19% in 1 year. The 2 bed, $3,597 average prices. It's up 26% in 1 year. This is a very unhealthy market. In Toronto, $2,192. Year over year is 18%, 3115 for a 2 bed, and that's up 23%. These are shocking numbers. This has never happened before, but again, we've never had a print like this before. And that's the dangerous part. If the government is printing this much, we should be able to see these continue year over year over year. And that's not what we want. But as the government is more and more in debt, we expect them to need to print more and more to pay the interest on that debt. And that's going to create this inflation. And because your salaries are never going up, it in essence is a tax on you. Inflation is a tax. So I want you guys to watch out for this. But can I show you one more thing I found very interesting? When I look at this chart that shows this difference as well between Vancouver, Toronto, all the different cities in Canada. But look at the differences for 1 bedrooms are up 19%, 18% for the year, but a 2 bedroom is up 26%. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean for somebody like me and you? Because I can tell you what it means is most months, most years, they're always going up at the same rate because the same number of print that the government does in printing money affects the market in the same way. When we've seen this in the past, that divergence where the 2 bedrooms are getting higher, especially the 2 bed, 2 bath, think of who can move into that. So it's very, very hard for a family just to completely pack their bags and relocate to another city, another country, because all their friends and family are there. That rarely happens. What happens all the time is they're going to sell their home and downgrade from a big home into a small home or from a small home into a condo. When you get into a 2 bed, 2 bath situation, you can have a family move in and maybe mom can have one of the bathrooms and everyone else uses the other one, like in my family did growing up. Or you might be able to have 2 professionals who don't even know each other and they each have their bedroom and bathroom on each end with a shared living room in the middle. It's very flexible, those units. And so when we see that divergence where the 2 bedrooms are becoming more in demand than the 1 bedrooms, that is normally what we're seeing is these downsizers. A lot of empty nesters as well. Their kids have already moved. They're cashing out at the top of the market and downgrading into that beautiful condo lifestyle. Like who doesn't want that? Where they come wash your windows for you and shovel your snow, cut your grass. You have no headaches anymore. I mean, everybody wants that. So it's absolutely amazing for them. That's a good quality of life. But this inflation is going to be hitting you. So what would I be suggesting for people nowadays is you got to start preparing. If you were in a situation where you needed or thinking about selling your home, I mean, this is a great time to sell your home. I would think about it because we are at very, very high elevated prices, even though the market has come down a little bit. We are at still record highs if you look at history. In many places in Toronto, you're looking at 30 years of average salary in order to buy a home. But in the United States, they normally are sitting around 10 years of salary to buy a home. So Canada is very expensive, albeit we have a very tough climate up here, but it's still very, very excessive. If you were thinking of buying, Right now, it's not a terrible time to buy because home prices are down 30% and the interest rates, depending on the economist that you talk to, I still think that the Federal Reserve and the Canadian Central Bank will retract and they'll start lowering rates when the economy gets bad enough. We would expect that to happen sometime between September and March. The reversal of the rates would happen because they've already had the desired effect. If you were buying in cash today, I wouldn't be buying today. I would be waiting. You should be waiting into the winter or something like that to see when that reversal happens. When the reversal happens, you should already see the max damage to the real estate market, and then's a time to jump in. But I wouldn't be buying cash now. I would be waiting. That's what I would do, you guys. So think about that. Think of what we can do to help you survive in this world of out of control central banks, as George Gammon always says. We want you to succeed. And right now is a very, very tough time for renters and everybody alike. Just stay safe. Let your brothers know. And the best way you can help us is just to share this video with even one person that you know that this could help. I want you guys to succeed. I want you to do well. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, let me know why, and I'll see what I can do about it. Maybe we'll talk about it on the next video. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.